Hey everyone, it's Natalie. Yeah, I am in my Hugh Hefner robe with my InfoWars shirt on. But I am like cooking so much for the church. Tomorrow we're having like this competition with soup and chili cook-off. And I am doing Southern Navy bean soup with ham and ham hock and cornbread and all that. So it's taking all day. But I want to talk something has really been bothering me, and it's been bothering me for a while, right? And it's like such a sore subject to talk about that I haven't ever talked about it on my channel before, and that is self-medicating during this time. Regardless if it's nicotine, alcohol, prescribed or unprescribed medication, or the gummies or the stores that you can buy legal things at that you can inhale or chew or eat, like ice cream or gummies or whatever it is, right? Now, I will say that through this journey of 24 years of self-healing, there's been up and downs where I have used nicotine and alcohol to suppress memories of trauma, memories of what I'm going through, or just numbing the pain to get through it because you're so consumed by it, right? And I'm sorry, I'm really trying not to cry. Some of the women that I've met, that I've talked to, either over the phone, on email, video chat, or people that have even just sent me video messages, I could tell we're self-medicating. And it brought me back, like when I see these things or hear these things, it brings me back to the time that maybe I was vaping or smoking cigarettes or drinking alcohol, which I've never really been like a big alcohol drinker, to be honest, because a drunk driver killed my mom's both of her parents at the same time, a 16-year-old, when she was in high school, and her youngest of 5 siblings was only 5, and it destroyed their lives. And so I've always been against alcohol because it killed my grandparents. And but I do remember times where, like, even though I never even, like, I've still to this day never drank a beer. I just think it's totally disgusting. I would find myself in a space where, like, I wanted to drink alcohol to numb the pain, even though it was the most disgusting thing I've ever tasted. Or I would go to vaping or something like that, right? Just to calm the anxiety, to calm the trauma, to calm the pain. This is such a hard video for me to make, because I think back in my 20s when I used to look at that fan blade and think of a rope. And I never put makeup on. I didn't even shave myself. I probably looked like a damn cave woman. But guess who was standing by my side? Guess who didn't choose the narcissist? Guess who was using the restroom in a horse barn to stay with me and support me through this challenging time? That's my husband. We weren't even married then. We weren't even married then. And of course, his parents, you know, they just moved back from Singapore and built this nice house in Austin, Texas, and were giving him, you know, little crumbs of cheese and saying all this stuff and like financially trying to swindle him to come back. And I was working at Kroger, and I had started my special needs program type of company, right? So I was working 2 jobs, so it just wasn't making enough, and we're still standing at the, you know, the food pantry line every month and stuff like that. And so I just told him, I said, you can't, like, he literally couldn't even get a job at a restaurant. Like, he got a job at a restaurant making tips, could barely anything. Then they laid him off because, you know, back in 2008, nobody was going out to eat. They didn't have the money. He wasn't making anything. And I said, well, just, you know, maybe you can find a job if you go to Austin. So I let him go up there after 3 years. And he got a job. And unfortunately, it was through his parents, through his dad, who had just got a job in Ohio. And his parents told him, the only way we're going to give you this job, because he's been unemployed for 3 years by now, even with college education, that's the crazy part, and history of work in chemical plants. They told him he still couldn't get a job. They told him, hey, we'll give you this job if you break up with Natalie. Well, he, like, even though they had told him that, he wasn't planning on doing that, right? So at this time, I was rolling, like, his dad, a long time ago, had given him these Cuban cigars, right? They're really expensive cigars, but he and I really didn't smoke, like, tobacco. And when he left, I found myself looking at those cigars thinking, anything right now is going to help me get through this. And so I took the Cuban cigars and I grounded them up. And I went and found, because my mom's husband at the time rolled his own cigarettes. I went and asked him, hey, can I have a couple of those things that you roll your cigarettes in? And after I ground the Cuban cigars up, I rolled them. No filter, right? No filter. And I started, like, they were strong. I'm not going to lie. But I found something to comfort me. And so this is, the reason why I'm telling you this whole story, right, is to tell you that when you're in that moment, like, you're like, holy crap, everything's going wrong. I'm losing control. My husband is gone, or boyfriend, whatever. Like, he's been by my side since I was 15. Even through all of the things that I've done that weren't necessarily correct or proper, he still stood by me. Same thing, I still stood by him while he was in college partying and fratting and going to frat parties and all this. Like, I didn't care. Like, I was like, whatever, do your own thing. He was in Austin, I was in Houston. I was doing my own thing and all that. We still, like, didn't care. We were like, hey, now we're going up. We've got the partying out of our system. I still, when in those moments that I think about that, and he was by my side, and then all of a sudden he disappeared, trying to make a better life, not for himself only, but for me as well. And then I'm sitting here smoking these rolled up Cuban cigars, like cigarette things. I didn't even know what I was doing, honestly. I didn't know. I just needed something to pacify me. I needed something to pacify me, because I was on the verge of just staring at that fan blade every night thinking, what if? And during this time, my mom left her husband, didn't tell me. Just one day came up with a truck with some guy she met online, loaded her crap up, and I was stuck there with her ex-husband. I was like, okay. Not even ex-husband yet. Still husband. Just left him while he was at work. So I called my godmom. And I said, hey, this is happening. Jared's gone. We plan on moving to Ohio within like 3 weeks. Can I just come stay with you? My whole car was packed. Like, you could hardly see out the back windows. It's probably illegal. So my car sat in her driveway while I lived with her and helped her with chores and running the kids around and doing stuff, waiting for my husband to get the job. And 2 days before I was supposed to drive up there, I'm talking to him every single night on the phone. 2 days. He calls me on speakerphone with his whole family. His brother, who's out of the country, speakerphone. They're like connected somehow. His mom and dad and him, because he's at his parents' house. And he tells me that his parents are giving him a choice. That he has to break up with me. And I remember that moment that I screamed like I never screamed before. I'm homeless. Definitely homeless now. My mom's left the only home that I was living in for 3 years. I'm at my godmom's. I'm thinking I'm moving to Ohio in 2 days. My car's packed. Everything's ready. I've been preparing this for 3 weeks. Actually, about a month. Our dog, Chloe, is pregnant. That's why I ended up with our handicapped dog, Henry, for 11 years. Because he was born deformed. His back legs didn't work. And so, he had to use a wheelchair and everything. I took care of him for 11 years. I have this pregnant dog. I have our male dog. And I'm sitting here at my godmom's homeless like, what am I going to do? So I go and buy a pack of cigarettes. Never in my life have I bought cigarettes before. And she realizes I'm smoking cigarettes. She's like, why are you smoking cigarettes? And then she starts, talking about taking me to a women's shelter. Because she doesn't know what to do for me. My husband, my boyfriend, fiance, whatever you want to call him, at that time of 12 years, broke up with me over the phone. She knows the history. I'm self-medicating with tobacco. And, I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm telling you guys this story. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should be more focused on, self-medicating. I don't know why I went off in this direction. But the end of that story is, and let me just tell you the end of the story so you're not lost, is I block his number from my phone. I'm absolutely devastated to the point that Kim's sister, my godmom's sister, has to come over, take my clothes off, and put me in the shower naked. No one's ever seen me naked like that before. I was so vulnerable. I was such a hot mess. I could not stop crying. I didn't know what to do. And all I could do is just think of the hatred I had for my husband's parents. The position that they had put me in. For their own selfish reasons. And I've never told this story before. I've told snippets of it. But he calls my godmom, and he's frantically looking for me. I blocked his number. I was so pissed off. I'm about to go to a woman's shelter. I'm homeless. I got these 2 dogs that I'm about to have, that I love to death, that I'm going to have to put in an animal shelter because I have to go to a woman's center. Thank you, Jesus. I'm sorry. I'm almost shaking. This is just such an upsetting story. I've never told this story on my channel. He gets in contact with my godmother. And he's like, I didn't want to do that. They forced me. Tell Natalie right now. Let me talk to Natalie. Tell her to drive up here. My parents are going on vacation. I need her up here within 2 days. My godmom rushes off and gets me $2,000 in Visa cards to get me up to Ohio, to pay for a hotel, to pay for our gas, to sneak out, to get him to sneak out with me, to go live in a rat-infested, crack-headed motel until we got on our feet. Because she knew, I'm a hustler, baby. I don't play. I will find money. At that time, though, during the stock market crash, there was no money to be found. That's why we were broke. Even with degrees. Even with college degrees. We couldn't. So I drive my butt up there with a pregnant dog who's throwing up all over my car, and I'm just smoking cigarettes, self-medicating. Like, oh my God, this is the most stressful, intimidating time of my life. I think, oh my God. And then I get there and he's like, hey, since my parents are going to be gone, like, let's not pay for our room for 2 days. Let's sleep here. At the apartment, his parents' apartment, because like they had built a house. They came back from Singapore. His dad retired, became a private contractor. So he got privately contracted to go to Ohio to this engineering firm, and brought his son along and got hired. And I'm like, oh my, I could not sleep for those 2 days in their apartment. I was so scared they're gonna come home and find us. Because they're the type of people that trick you like that, right? Like, test you, right? Test my husband. So we leave. And we go find the hotel. Well, when we left, we brought his mattress his parents paid for. Because we knew we were going to eventually need a mattress. Like, we didn't want to sleep on the crack-headed mattress, right? So we got them to take that mattress out of the hotel and put this mattress down. And then at the same time, Chloe, my dog, gives birth to 6 puppies, 1 being disabled. So this is a whole hot mess. He ends up crashing his car. And that crash, because the light was hit the sunlight, the sun was in his eyes, he accidentally drove it. He was taking a left and somebody was coming and he couldn't see them. That crash got us a check from the insurance company that saved our butt. We were able to get out of that hotel and get a rent house. And I had already started working with, like, I was on care.com, which is a website that you can advertise yourself for what your specialties are in caring for others. Mine was special needs children. And I was getting a lot of clients that way. Like, you have to pay every month, but you still get clients. So we got out of there. But I remember the moment that we got out of there, I was still self-medicating with tobacco. And it took me getting pregnant to realize how stupid that was. Because tobacco causes cancer. People talk with little voice boxes. Oh my God, this video is a hot mess. If I post this, maybe it's just for the story. Maybe I should go back and just only specifically do about self-medicating. But my story is that I self-medicated in my early 20s, smoking cigarettes. I didn't drink alcohol. I never even tasted alcohol until my 33. I was like 33 when I first tasted alcohol because my everything my mom's been through with both her parents getting killed instantly by a 16-year-old drunk driver while they were driving to church. So, that being said, if you are in that state of self-medicating, let me come back around. Oh my God, it's 20 minutes of me telling a story. But a lot of you guys asked me to tell these stories. So maybe my mind's drifting. And I apologize if this video is everywhere. But this is like a real true story before we became successful. I am sitting nicely, guys. My job that I do, I don't have to have that job to pay my bills. I do that job out of joy and out of love and out of caring for others and out of wanting to be there for children that are special needs, regardless of what spectrum they're on. It doesn't matter what spectrum they're on. If it's anger issues, if it's autism, if it's psychological problem, whatever it is, I want to be there, right? Because I went through that. Special education programs and modified work and all this, because you're dealing with stuff at home when you're a child. I was there, been there, done that. And now here I am, totally turned around as a person, totally changed my life. Once I had a kid, man. Actually, once we got out of being homeless, and we didn't have to go to the food pantry line anymore. Well, we did actually when we were in the hotel. We found one. But just like being able to get back on our feet after, like, dude, I had a 3.5 carat diamond ring by the time I was like 22 years old. Because my, at the time, fiance was doing so well. I had to sell that ring when we were homeless. That was a $10,000 ring, guys. But that wasn't what was important. At the same time, when I was in that place, you know what also self-medicated me? It wasn't only like tobacco or alcohol or drugs or anything like that. It was taking my Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Prada, anything like that once appealed me, that once suffocated me, that once made me broke and homeless. I made a bonfire and took it all. Me and Jared sat outside while I dropped each shoe, each belt, each purse, each tote bag, each clothing item, whatever it was. The only thing on Louis Vuitton that won't burn is the L&V label. Same thing with Prada and Gucci. Those little labels won't burn, but the leather sure will. And I burned it all. And it was the most freeing feeling when I burnt materialism items that did not make in my life. It didn't mean anything. It was all for show, boating, and making myself presentable in front of people that had a lot more money than I did. So I could hang out with them, so I could model, so I could do the things that I want to do and move around and all this. All while going to college, getting like 3 hours of sleep every night. Yeah, it was fun. But then when you're stuck in the middle of that, you're like 25 years old, right? You're no teenager. You're coming out of your early 20s. You have to be responsible. You start self-medicating because you don't know how to be responsible. And some of you right now might be self-medicating to get over what the narcissist is doing to you. But she is winning if you are self-medicating. She is winning. Don't self-medicate when you're in this situation. It's easy to be pacified. What's not easy is taking that pacifier away. And what that does to your surroundings and what it does to the people that actually love you. I've never made a video like this, I don't think. I've been wanting to make a video like this for a long time. But I don't know if it's just because I've been going to church a lot and I'm speaking the truth, or because I'm making a potluck for my church tomorrow and I start thinking about things and I'm like, man, I need to speak on that. But I've been so hesitant to speak on it I've been hesitant. And that's mainly because I'm not accusing anyone, but I'm relating. And if you're in that state where you are vaping, you're going to those special stores to get the gummies and all that, you're self-medicating. If you're drinking too much alcohol, if you're drinking every night, over drinking every night, whatever it is, if you're going and smoking 10,000 cigarettes every month, if your priority is buying cigarettes over food or medication that you need or things like that, you're self-medicating. You're prioritizing. I can never say that. I can't say that word because I have a dyslexic tongue, which a lot of you guys know that I have dyslexia, but I still can't say it. You are making something more important than other things that are actually important in your life. Prioritizing. There you go. Sorry. If I didn't correct it, it was going to bother me. So, yeah, I guess that's my video. It's a hot mess. It's all over the place. Sometimes you guys are just like, hey, just be real. Just be real. And I'm being real. I am. And it hurts. But I am so blessed and so glad that I overcame that. My IQ was higher than the actual self-medication of nicotine. Because nicotine is a mofo to get off of. And when I became pregnant, I immediately dropped that vape pen and the cigarettes because I was doing both at the same time. Just tobacco. And it was hard. Like, there was times, like, even when I was, first newly pregnant, like, within the week of knowing, I put it down, and I was going through withdrawals of nicotine, and I'd hit it once, maybe a day. And then finally I got to the point where I never had to use it again, didn't go back to it, all of that. Alexa, stop. It's a reminder for my son to read. But I look around at what I got now, and I think, wow, I'm so glad I stuck it out. I'm so glad. I got a strong, wonderful husband, and I'm so happy about it. And some of you guys don't. Some of you have to make hard choices, but don't hurt your body over that narcissist. It's not worth it. Why would you do that? Why would you? It's like self-harming. Why would you do that over this person? There's no reason. Screw them, dude. Who are they? Who are they? I literally look at the narcissist like an alien. Like, you pop up in my house, like, whoo? Like, I've never seen you before. I don't know who you are. I don't care what you think about me. I don't care what you say about me. Get out of my life. Get out of my house. Get out of my head. Bye. Goodbye. I've written you off. I had the funeral. You're done. No more. Never have I had to do that to anyone in my life. What you did to me when I was like 23, 24, or about 25 years old, leaving me almost at a woman's shelter over your own selfish needs, that's what I have to say. And you know what? Look at my beautiful life, everyone. Look at it. I got my little plants here. It's getting green out there. I got my little fireplace room. I got my little entertainment room. I got, let's see, my basement that we have a huge TV that we spend family nights together. And this is not me bragging. This is me telling you I overcame shit. I overcame it. And I succeeded. And you can too. And I'm sorry to show my emotions. But my Lord, when I think about that roach crawling across my face in that hotel. And then her, at the same time I was living in that rat-infested hotel, have a private investigator follow me. That's how she knew that Jared and I were going to this place to get our nicotine pod things. Because she asked us about it. She wasn't even in the state at the time. How would she know we were going to this tobacco outlet to get our tobacco vape? When she questioned my husband when his cousin came. Hey, your cousin's coming. He smokes cigarettes. You know, that place that you used to go to in Ohio to get your vape? Where can I go and get one over here in Austin? How the heck would you know where we got our tobacco supply unless a private investigator was following us, which I had already told my husband because it's this guy in a white car with a huge antenna was following me everywhere I went. I would go to the gas station. He would be there all of a sudden. I'd go to the grocery store. He'd be at the back of the parking lot. Like, he would be everywhere. This happened for over a month. Terrorizing me. They're crazy, crazy, dude. This is a long story. I gotta stop. I have to stop. All right. I'm sorry. I know I don't tell a lot of my personal stories on here. But some of you have been asking. I'm sorry. I gotta stop. Some of you guys have been asking. I totally went in a misdirection in this video. And that happens. I don't edit my videos. I speak from the heart. I'm sorry. You don't like it, don't watch it. That's all I gotta say. You don't like it, don't watch it. All right, I got to finish this suit for church. Peace, love, harmony. Bye, guys.